into it, Bill, in regards to pricing. They were selling on the south side, we were selling on the north side. You know, I think...
Excuse me.
I think it does. I think it does. I think if we went out there with £3 for a Magnum, Bill, we wouldn't have shifted as many. Not as many. Not as many.
There's no point talking in hindsight, lads. You know what I mean?
That's a shocking
Listen, hold on a minute.
I think it is. Like...
Steve, hold on a minute. How much do you know about Northside Dublin and Southside Dublin?
Very
Not
little.
a lot. So leave that to the people who do know. Geraldine, what did you think of the task and how it was all operated?
I think we were very... Well, actually, I took this into my own hands because I rang a Spar in Dublin too, and I got the prices that they were selling their ice cream.
Well, that's exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah, well, that's what I did. And
I delegated to do that at the time.
that was my idea, Aoife.
Okay.
And once that was done, we added a little bit onto that, so we were selling it more expensive than the Spar. Well, basically, we knew we could get more than the average price for it.
I heard something about a megaphone. Who had a megaphone?
I'm afraid I'll have to own up to that, Bill.
And was this your idea?
It was, yes.
But Samantha, did this mean that you were on the megaphone all day instead of being selling?
I think, Bill, it was the right tactic to go with. We had speed selling, absolute speed selling.
Sorry, Sam, did you not notice all the people moving away from you because of the noise?
I think the point has to be made, they were tourists. I first approached them to see if they'd be interested in buying any of our
Do tourists not
product.
eat ice cream?
They do. I approached them to ask them if they'd be interested in buying our product, and when we had no sales from it, then we just moved on and they moved on, so I don't think there was a huge market there with them.
Well, I'll tell you what, time will tell, and what we have to do now is have a look at the monies. So, Brian?
Yes, Bill, the boys, or Team Cuchulainn, spent €363.53. They had sales of €721.03 with a profit of €357.50.
357. Jackie?
Well, Platinum, the girls' team, spent €385.43. They brought in €801.20, giving them a profit of €415.43.
So, congratulations, girls. To celebrate your win, I have arranged a very special dining experience for you in Lacrovan, hosted by the Michelin star chef, Derry Clark, and his wonderful wife, Sally Ann. You deserve it, but remember this, you got it by the skin of your teeth. So off you go and enjoy.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jackie.
Well, Craig, what do you think now?
I'm sure we'll get down to the nitty-gritty of it. I'm not going to excuse for the mistakes that we made. I'll stand up and take full responsibility for whatever lies in my book, and I'm sure we'll get to the decision.
Well, what I want you to do now is go outside, have a look at what went wrong. One of you will be fired. That's for sure. Away you go.
For the boys, a long wait. But for the girls, a 7-course dinner.
So, ladies, what did you do to win this task?
We had to kick some serious ass.
Oh, stand up, son. Lads, I can't believe the first task is over. And we won.
They didn't back each other up.
No, at all.
That's the problem. There was no team spirit from them.
We stick together as a team. This team sticks together. We'll win again. It's simple.
Task number 2.
Bring it
Let's
on.
undertake. Bring it on.
This wasn't really a case of the girls winning, it was of the boys losing. They must have took a couple of hours to make up their mind what the ice cream they're going to sell.
Unfortunately, at any stage, there was no sense of team. It was 7 different alpha males trying to gain control. And in fairness, poor Craig hadn't a chance.
But what were they doing for the 2 or 3 hours this morning? What were they doing for the 3 hours this morning?
Battling each other.
It just pisses me off.
They
It really
wasted the
does.
whole bit. The entire morning was just gone.
It's going to be interesting to see who he keeps winning in the boardroom, isn't it?
Who's going to fight?
Yes, Bill. Bill is ready for you now.
Well, I hope you had time to have a good chat with yourselves. Craig, what would you have to say? What went wrong?
We got our brief. I obviously started the meeting, chaired it in terms of read the first page, and then the book was obviously, we all sort of took hand of the book and all that. Completely my fault. I fully understand. I've learned a lot today in terms of the mistakes I've made, and I intend on well, I know I won't let it happen again, the mistakes I made today.
Do you know what I think? Do you know what I think? I think you should all give me some sort of excuses. Donald, what did you think of all that?
I think we were too impetuous, and there was too many numbers firing around that I could not keep up with what was actually happening in terms of the costs. I didn't understand. I didn't feel there was a well choreographed meeting.
There were 7 of you there.
Yeah.
1 4-page brochure. You're buying stuff. Did you get us price lists of what you were paying for all this stuff, yeah?
Yeah.
What then had you got to do? Just go out and sell it. You're buying it for that. Go out and double or treble your price.
We just worked it on the basis.
It's as simple as that.
Sales is a numbers game, Bill, and we were just terrible with our numbers. Terrible with our numbers and pricing. Terrible with our numbers of any idea of how much we had to sell out there. I got the calculator out in the car on the way down and worked out we were going to make €22 profit if we sold the lot. So I made the phone call to the other team in the car ahead just before we were about to go selling. Up the price of the low range product to 150. Up the price of the Cornettos.
And you had no trouble getting that price?
And no trouble getting that price. I won the team in that, moving it up. €106 in sales. I saved our asses on the way down.
I don't think the sale price is a problem at all. Right, we were inefficient today, and yesterday we were lazy. We chose to look around and enjoy the new house we have instead of sitting down, picking the team name, picking the project manager, working on our sales strategy. We didn't. We spent so much time flapping around the house.
Stephen, you want to say something there? You're bursting to say something.
Not bursting to say something as such, but I mean, the fact is, this is a perfect example of why the task went wrong this morning. It was absolutely ridiculous. Like, I mean, it really was. It was a simple task. The whole time this morning, I continued press, lads, we have to move.
But you're all grown men. Why did you just put up with all that? Why didn't you do something about it? You're all saying the same thing. We spent too much time on this. We spent too much time on that. But you all did it.
We just got the numbers wrong all day, Bill. There was no thought went into the numbers process. I mean, there's a question over the total figure, and like, I mean, at the end of the day, there's a question over the total figure of the 724. I think.
What do you mean a question?
Because we pulled in.
You're questioning my figures?
No, we pulled in 450 of it, and there was 4 people selling on their team.
So who wasn't selling in the other team?
Silence.
Well, I was in charge. I was in charge of the central dump in the dolly. Satanta was coming back very, very regularly to fill up his box. I didn't see Donald fill up his box as much.
It just really leaves me flat that somebody of your calibre can say you can't sell ice cream on a hot day. Do you know what I'm saying here?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you feel my aggravation?
Absolutely, Bill, yeah.
Well, I tell you something. You're going to learn what it's all about, right? Your job, Craig, now is to give me 2 names of who you want to come back into this boardroom with you.
Obviously, in the interest of how I felt they performed today and how I felt other people performed, I think in terms of rank the lowest 2, I'd say it would be Donald and Breffney.
Donald and Breffney. That means Steve, Stephen, Brendan and Satanta can go off back to the house. Off you go.
Well, it's best of luck, yeah. I have to make my decision, lads. You know what I mean? It's not. I have to make a decision. We're all here for it, lads. You know what I mean? I have to pick a performance, yeah. You know what I mean?
It's hard to believe that he didn't make any planning at all the day before, isn't it?
Bill, the way I see it now is Craig was in charge of chaos. Donald, I question if he's going to be a team player because he kept going away from his team, and he actually sold very well when he left his teammates. But is he a team player? I mean, as for Breffney, he was by far and away the poorest seller. He's just waving lollipops around the place all the time.
These guys?
It was a performance by 7 individuals and no team involved at all.
Let's hear what they have to say to themselves before we make the final decision.